Right, so here we go, right? So we've got our other guests coming on very soon, but we're talking about other people's businesses. What about our own businesses? What we doing so differently? The political landscape is changing for 2025.
The economic landscape is changing.
We're in different categories of business. So Wicus, business doctor, business analyst, business guru, looking at the numbers, looking at the culture in businesses. What are you looking to do differently this year to hopefully harness the hardships of people's businesses?
So, Johnny, I think that when you look at business and you look at anything, everybody always tells me that everybody loves change. We all sit around the table and we say we love change. But the reality is, even me, when change comes, we're scared. Okay, everybody gets scared because it's really, really unknown. So for me, the big thing this year is to embrace change, really to embrace change, not to be scared because I don't have all the answers. You know what? I don't have to have all the answers, because if I did have all the answers, I'd be your competition and you'd be out of business. But very often when you are in business, who do you talk to? Especially when you get to a certain size. And what I see a lot is guys putting Band-Aids over something that needs surgery. So a big focus this year is culture and people. I think you need to have the right people in the right roles to drive your business forward. That's going to be a big thing. But it all starts with the numbers. If you don't have a handle on your numbers, and by your numbers, I don't mean your accountant's numbers. And we're going to talk to Linda a little bit later about numbers. I'm talking about your operational numbers. Are you making a profit on every job? And how do you know you're making a profit on every job? Michael, how do you know you're making a profit on every property? You know, what sort of systems are you investing in? I think we spoke about it early on in the earlier episode. We said if I had to go back and I had to give my younger self advice, I think Michael said systemization, automation. I'd wholeheartedly back that, but I'd have the right system in place, the system that gives me operational information that I can make a decision on. Because if you think about, if you're dealing with the consumers, if you're dealing with businesses, their needs are changing. And you are either changing with them or you're not changing with them. You're either understanding that they're changing or you're not understanding that they're changing. And how do you best support that changing behavior? Because it happens. And then one day you look up and you go, oh, I don't know the client did this. So how close are you to your clients? So for me, it's really important to stay a lot closer to clients and culture this year. So it's a bigger change than required, but it's also good. Change is good. It pushes you outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, it does do that.
Now, if I had to say the same question to you, Johnny, what changes are you making this year?
We are looking at different opportunities, different types of businesses to work with. So B2B, the consumer has changed their spending habits. So the consumer that we originally had as a client profile has to change now. So he has to earn more money. He has to be less involved in construction. He needs to live in certain postcode areas. He needs to have certain hobbies, so then we know where we're targeting him. I'm just giving it all away here. No. These tips.
I think...
And really look at trimming the fat and looking at the processes and procedures. What's actually working for us? What's not working for us? And implement the change. As difficult as it is, get to work very quickly on that. So that's kind of in essence what we're doing.
So you're changing your client profile, your client demographic to target a different type of customer while you transition away from your existing client base to a different client base. And
I think is when you put your stall out there, this is what we do. You're going to get you're going to get some backlash and still people wanting to use you. But the problem is you then become something to everybody, or you become everything to everyone. And that's the problem. You split yourself, and then 99.9% of the stress is brought on by yourself and your team. So as a leader, as a boss, whatever way you want to call it, you need to create the new path and get everybody buying into that. So that's what we're doing this year.
I would agree with you. I don't think you can be everything to everybody. You need to be really, really concise in who is your client. But the temptation is obviously to say, yeah, I can help you. Mm-hmm. And maybe you can, but is that the right client for you? And that's a difficult decision. Is it the right client?
You need to be able to say no. Once you learn how to say no. And if you've got a clear strategy in that and who you're trying to target, then saying no to the ones you don't want just becomes a bit easier.
So, now we're going to fire the same question at Michael, just to place it into context, because if you look at letting agents as a market, it's a contracting market because landlords, due to legislation, are jumping out. You can't mortgages, property prices, all of those things. It's a contracting industry. And everybody's fighting for the same slice of pie. If I'm correct, there's not massive amounts of new landlords entering the market. There's more leaving than entering.
Well, we're finding quite a few new ones coming in. There is a
that's
good balance. It's just there is that knock on over the last sort of 3 years that there's inevitably people are leaving the sector. So the growth's hard, and it is the same pot you're fighting for. And really, the only way to grow properly and quickly is acquisition. But we're changing things up. You're always looking at systems. The stuff we've got in place is really good. Like we've got some really top drawer systems in place, software, but we're always looking and just seeing what else is there that can be tweaked. And the systems we've got, they're also looking at tweaking what they've got. So it does move in the right direction for us. But we're looking at now, we've been doing a lot of work on our marketing funnel, doing an ad pay-per-click campaign.
How's that working?
Like it's been all right. We've seen a difference. We try to automate, so there's a lot of networking still goes on, but you're trying to just automate that as much as possible so that it's not all reliant on someone going out and meeting people. So you've got different things coming in, different shoots of revenue, if you like. So we've done quite a lot of work on all that. And the construction side, we've changed the message completely on that over the last 6 months. So we're going more bigger ticket kind of projects. And it is, when you see where we've been to where we are now, you start to put these changes in place, you see a massive difference, in what you're bringing in. And it's not by luck, you're actually putting that message out, you're changing it, you're looking for different clients.
I will say to you, there's one thing, I don't believe in luck. People say I got lucky. I don't think so. The more prepared you are, the luckier you are. It's either Gary Player or Jack Nicklaus when they won the Open. They caught them playing out of the bunker. And the guy goes, you got really lucky today. And he goes, funny thing is, the more I practice, the luckier I get, eh? Okay, and that is it. It's about, and I will say this, success isn't one big change. It's a culmination of 1,000 different things that you've done on a daily basis. The habits you get up at early in the morning, try something different. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we're so scared of failure. We're so scared that it doesn't work.
I think when you're an entrepreneur, you embrace the change, you embrace the failures. You still don't like them, but it is a way of learning. And we hear this time and time again because this message is getting repeated, which is great because the more people understand it, the quicker they'll get past all that adversity and realise that this is actually a good thing that's happening to me. It's sore, it's painful, but it'll grow strength from it. That's interesting because a lot of people are having to adapt for this year, as many years that have passed. But this one, political landscape, how everything's changed when we've had Ali Booth in with the NI costs, corporation tax, the utility costs, everything. But a good business owner is actually sitting there looking at all of that and not being frightened of the numbers.
There's only one thing that you can control. So if you think about, you said looking at our costs, cutting your costs back, probably in most businesses, people are the single highest cost. Now their money isn't going up anyway. They're not getting better. They're not earning more money. You as a business owner can't afford to give 10, 15% increases. So it's about those little things that you do. Are you looking at every penny that goes out of your business? Are you checking it, making sure that it's really necessary, cutting it to the bone, being lean? And then what do you do to retain your staff? Because people are going to be crucial in businesses to grow, depending on which business you are, unless robots come. When robots come, then you're
exactly.
okay.
Oh, well, let's wrap it up. That was a quick one for us. And what's the famous words we say?
Well, let's have a bash and see.
This is your world.
Shape it.
Or someone else will.
There you go.